discrimination, and we have to support that community. When we got Black Lives Matter protests out here, we have thousands come out on the street and thousands pledge to support Black Lives. We've got to do the same for the Gypsy and Traveller community. You see, we just saw on the film that they just showed, Butlins, a famous holiday place in the UK like Butlins, refusing to book holidays for people from Gypsy and Traveller communities.
We're now broadcasting live at the Anti-Public Order Act protest. Remember to hit that big red subscribe button and click the bell icon so you stay up to date with future live streams or videos like these. Thank you very much for tuning in to
on social media. We should send a clear message. We ain't putting up with this shit no more. An injury against one community is an injury against all communities. So I'm glad that I'm here today to send my full solidarity to the Gypsy and Traveller communities. And by the way, it's not my first time, I've been doing this for quite a long time now. But I'm sending my full solidarity as a Black Lives Matter activist, because united we can defeat this discrimination. Big round of applause, everybody. We're here about discrimination, we're here about subjugation, and we're also here about fascism. We're here about fascism. Make no mistake, the police law and the nationalities and borders law, that is fascism. And now they come, what happened with the police bill? They stripped out parts of it in the Lords. And what did they do? They only brought in another bill called the Public Orders Bill, which is what was kicked out as the other one, and they're just making a law about it. This government is out of control. This is a government that likes to interfere in countries' affairs across the world and talks about human rights abuses. Well, these laws that they have brought in this country are human rights abuses in the UK, and we have to call it out. So I'm proud. And make no mistake, that bill is going through. The Tories have got a massive majority and it's going through. And the reason why it's going through so easily, and you need to remember this, because the situation is very political. The reason why it's going through so easily is because there's no opposition in this country. There is no official opposition in this country anymore. Keir Starmer is a white supremacist and he is a weasel. I'm telling you, this guy is a weasel. Keir Starmer, the Labour Lords, the peers, could have defeated the Nationalities and Borders Bill in the House of Lords. Keir Starmer with the Lords to abstain against it, and that's why it went through. So if you believe that voting for a racist Labour Party is better than voting for a racist Tory party, you are mistaken. Let me tell you something. Until we identify the power that we have in our own communities, we are going to be carrying on like this over and over again. We need independent candidates who stand for something. We cannot keep voting for shitheads in Parliament who care nothing about our communities. They only care about their salaries and their jobs. So I say fuck the government and fuck the Labour Party too. So we've got lots of speakers today, so I needed to do a bit of a rebel rousing before I call up our first speaker. And they've been doing a bit of rebel rousing themselves. I'm going to call up Kush from Just Stop Oil. Give them a round of applause, people.
Thank you. So my name's Kush. I am standing here today in solidarity with the Gypsy and Traveller community. I'm standing here today in solidarity with the Black Lives Matter community. And I'm standing here today in solidarity with every single community who is being oppressed by this criminal government. Now, on the day of the coronation, I, along with 18 other Just Stop Oil supporters, was unlawfully arrested and prevented from our basic human right to expressing free speech and protesting against our criminal government. This happened just 3 days after the new Public Order Act came into place. We know that our government is using laws like this to suppress peaceful protest, and we will not stand for it. And so 1 week after that, when a committee in Parliament held a review into those unlawful arrests, we wanted to go and have our voices heard. And so we wrote to that committee as Just Stop Oil to give our evidence about what happened. And they said, thank you very much, but we are not accepting any evidence. And we said, well, that's a bit weird. I mean, you arrested 19 of us, held us unlawfully for between 8 and 24 hours, but you don't actually want to listen to us to give our side of the story when you're questioning the police on what they did that day. So we went to that committee meeting and I tried to give a very short 2-minute speech. 10 words into that speech, I made it 10 words into that speech before those very MPs who said that they were there to stand up for free speech and democracy booed me, shouted over me, and demanded that the police take us away and arrest us. Does that sound like a government or a parliament who actually want to stand up for free speech? So I'll read out what it was that I was planning on saying that day. We as supporters of Just Stop Oil are here today because our democracy is under threat. We are here to watch the Select Committee hearing as it's reviewing the policing of protest at the coronation. Among the 52 unlawful arrests in total that day for alleged public order offences, there were 19 Just Stop Oil supporters and an independent journalist. We had not even begun our protests, and our intentions were to simply display our t-shirts and our flags saying Just Stop Oil. We're here today to see how the committee will hold the Metropolitan Police to account for their actions, which breached our fundamental human right to free speech and freedom to assemble. Without free speech and freedom to assembly, our democracy is under threat. Our democracy is under threat by the Public Order Act of 2023 and the Police Crime Sentencing and Court Act 2022, which have criminalized peaceful protest. These acts have been used by the police on Coronation Day to indiscriminately arrest us, preventing us from being able to protest at all. Our democracy is under threat from new oil and gas. David Attenborough has warned the UN Security Council that the climate crisis threatens the very nature of human civilization. Because when billions of people are forced to move, to flee floods, fires, famine, and the resulting conflict that will inevitably threaten our ability to govern peacefully and democratically, there will be no democracy. We are here because, like all others, our voices deserve to be heard, and so we wish that you would be kind enough to listen. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, easy does it, easy does it. Thank you very much. That was an amazing speech, Kush. And I can't believe, well, I can believe that happened to you in Parliament. Because Parliament is full of shit, let's face it. It's failed us, it's failing the communities that need the support. And it's just enriching themselves and patting each other on the back. Parliament is not for communities that need support. I have to talk about the police and their behaviour on Coronation Day. In a democracy, everybody has the right to voice their opinion. I didn't even know about the Not My King protest. I didn't get the memo because I'd have been down there. Right? I need one of them t-shirts because next time I'm coming to join you. At the end of the day, the monarchy is out of date. As generations go on, younger people coming up, they will not have any need for this nonsense monarchy. And in a cost of living crisis, the audacity of spending millions of pounds on a vanity project is completely disgusting and outrageous. And they should never have done it. So it's not about just Not My King, it's about that one over there. Abolish the monarchy. And it serves no purpose. We've got another Give him a round of applause. It was a fantastic demonstration.
Thank you very much, and two very very tough acts to follow in terms of giving his speech. I'm used to talking just about why we should abolish the monarchy and why... My best man. So I just wanted to say to begin with is that I am proud as a relative newcomer to the world of protesting to be sharing a platform with the Gypsy Traveller League, with Black Lives Matter, JSO, disability rights campaigners, peace campaigners, and of the LGBTQ. All of us will at some point in our lives have a reason to oppose the government bill or protest against the grave injustice.
Hi there, how are you?
Very good, mate.
Good, thanks. Would you mind telling my viewers about this protest today in Parliament
What's
Square?
United Free Press, mate?
It's a group of streamers and freelance journalists in London that go around and film and document all sorts of rallies and events. If you don't mind some time on camera.
I'm alright, mate. Nice one.
Okay, thank you very much.
Always a big inefficiency there. The best we can do is about 40%. Well, I think it's going to be
Along with my colleagues. And obviously the bill is
Hi there, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Do you mind telling my viewers about today's protest in Parliament Square?
Today's protest in Parliament Square. This is a protest against the Public Order Bill, which has been amended to kind of oppress the right to protest. So recently at the coronation, there was a kind of horrific kind of breaking of human rights, really, where a bunch of protesters were kind of just arrested for standing and just like having, well, there were some from Republic who had like shirts and flags displaying their kind of distaste for the monarchy, and there were also just some loyal protesters doing the same thing, but for showing their beliefs, our beliefs. And they were arrested, even though that's really unjust, because the police just cracked down in that instance. And so this new public order bill is kind of that kind of thing, where, yeah, it's just cracking down on the right to protest. And so this demonstration is really people showing their distaste, their defiance towards this bill and everything that it represents.
So are a lot of passers-by taking notice of this and about you lot standing in Parliament Square and making a point?
Wait, say that again, sorry?
What impact does it have?
What impact does it
Yeah,
have?
in terms of standing in Parliament Square on a busy Saturday afternoon with a lot of people around and passers-by?
Yeah, so it's really, I mean, it's an outreach opportunity to like get people involved, but there's also a lot of just like getting it onto the agenda, getting it into people's minds, because you can see all these buses passing through. They will hear all of the messaging, and they'll start to understand when this message is relayed over and over that this is incredibly important. It is fundamental to our democracy that we have the right to protest.
And what outcome would you like to see at the end of all of this in terms of the government's response to your organisation?
So we would just like the public order bill to be like, so I'm pretty sure that it's new amendments happening to the bill which are oppressing the right to protest rather than the original bill. So we would like those to be scrapped, really, so then we can sustain our right to protest and continue to have a functioning democracy.
So you're coming from the perspective, because as a journalist I have to be impartial, but you're coming from the perspective that the police have a lot of powers.
Yes. They have
Too much overreach, is that what you're saying?
Yes, they have too much power over the people. It's kind of draconian, just like how much. It's just, yeah, it's overreach. It's really overreach. We have our fundamental human right to express our freedom of speech and our, just right to protest again. It's just, if we don't have that, then we don't really have any chance of being able to dissent against what the government does. Of course we can vote, but like being able to express ourselves in different ways is really important. So yeah, I do believe that it's about the police are just overreaching. Well, the government are allowing the police to overreach, giving them the powers to overreach.
Definitely. And as a journalist, I'm being impartial, but to counter your point,
Yes.
many would agree with the fact that the public order bill is there to protect people's safety and prevent a lot of antisocial behaviour. In terms of that aspect as well, what's your take on that?
So, what do you mean by antisocial behaviour?
Causing harm to others in that sort of sense, or preventing, and also beyond that. So, like, because it's called the public order bill, of course, and they do want to keep, well, from other people's perspective, they do want to keep that level of safety. What's your take on that? And what do you say to people who are in full support of the bill?
So, it really comes down to just because you have a presence of order doesn't mean you have a presence of justice. So the presence of order upholds the status quo and everything that exists in the world right now. But that's not necessarily just. And so we may be disrupting, we may do antisocial actions, but they're towards a greater good, which if we didn't do them, maybe some people's days wouldn't be as disrupted. But the overall harm that would do to our future, especially actions like Just Stop Oil, where we are fighting for our future, like the future of humanity, the future of life on Earth. It is pivotal that we do, unfortunately, have to disrupt people for the greater good. And yeah, does that answer your question?
It does indeed. And also, because I have to be impartial in today, because my channel doesn't side with anything, but what do you say to those who disagree with the actions of Just Stop Oil in terms of blocking the road and keeping traffic to a standstill? And many would say that does enhance CO2 emissions even more, with cars just sitting there and Just Stop Oil in front just blocking the road. What's your take on that?
Okay, so yeah, it is very unfortunate that we do have to disrupt people. It is, we've tried actions before which target the key infrastructure of the actual industry to hit them where it hurts, but it just isn't paid attention to by the media, and so we can't get systemic change. And that systemic change is very important. So when it comes down to things like, oh, you're holding up all these cars and they're emitting more CO2 into the atmosphere, it's a marginal amount compared, like a tiny amount compared to the emissions of these fossil giants. And the thing that will save us from the climate crisis isn't each individual maybe using less plastic or getting electric cars. It will be us pushing for systemic change, holding those 100 companies who do 71% of all emissions to account, and just doing that.
And in terms of the UK, statistically we're not the worst country when it comes to CO2. How about other countries such as China? Have Just Stop Oil ever considered protesting over there?
So it's kind of difficult to determine where CO2 emissions come from and why they're produced. Of course, a lot of production from China is production which is aimed to produce things that are sent and sold over here. So a lot of the demand can be from over here just because it can be cheaper to buy things and make things in China. So it's kind of a bit blurry, but of course we have the power over here to affect our government because we have more of a democracy than exists in China, as far as I'm aware. And so we have the responsibility to act on our governments, who, you know, we're the citizens of, and we can affect changing. Whereas it may be harder and less effective to try and protest in China.
And what do you say to those, because there are a lot of theories behind Just Stop Oil and their source of funding. What are your thoughts on the fact that people think that they are potentially funded by Soros, which is a mega corporation?
Soros?
Yeah, Soros.
As in George Soros?
Yeah, organisation.
I'm not sure about that one. I have heard
because there have been a lot of speculations and obviously questions to balancing it out, understandably. But what's your take on potential George Soros funding Just Stop Oil? And
I don't really know that much about George Soros.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's some inherent bad in taking money from him, because the money is going towards protest, which is affecting change. Unless, I really don't think that's Just Stop Oil is the kind of organization that will be polluted by kind of dirty money. Because it's just the way that it's organized isn't centralized. And I have heard of the theory about there is the descendant of an oil giant is funding the Climate Emergency Fund, which funds...
comes across as ironic in a sense.
Yeah, it does come across as ironic. However,
understandably.
Yes,
I guess nothing's perfect.
The ancestor, they basically decided, after seeing the kind of horror that was produced by the industry that her ancestors produced, she decided to use her money, use her wealth and privilege to try and revert this and try and make things better. So it is an irony, but it's not really an irony. It's a kind of natural progression, like people understanding that what they've done is wrong. And so that money is going towards a good cause.
Very interesting. Thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you.
Very much meeting you. And my channel is Another Alternative on YouTube and TikTok, so you can see the full interview there. So feel free to check it out. I'm live right now. I got like loads of people watching. I'm not tied to any organisation, so I'm more of a freelance journalist. Like a variety of things ranging. I mean, over the past years, I got a lot of the anti-lockdown rallies and all sorts of things that probably in like, I'm not saying everyone's like agreeing with everything, but a lot of variety of things. Basically. So, that's my stream right now. So,
but I know.
and then on TikTok, I do a lot of niche on TikTok, which is King's Gardens content as well. So feel free to King's Gardens for a variety of things, basically. Thank you for your time. And feel free to drop an email as well. myalternative@gmail.com. If you like any more questions, if you want me to clip out the interview, I can send it to you.
In a little tent, DJ. You good? Rewind, let's do it again.
Would you like to say a few words to camera?
I'm part of the Just Stop Oil press team, so
United Free Press is, well, we're not really officially recognised by police, but we are an organisation.
It's fine, I'll do it without the music. Oh, just like the river I've been running.
Yeah, feel free to check it out.
Ever since.
And a lot of,
it's been a
we mainly cover the anti-lockdown rallies, but
long time coming, but I know change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. It's been too hard living, but I am afraid to die, 'cause I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. I go to the movies and I go downtown. Somebody keep telling me, don't hang around. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gonna come. Oh, yes it will.
I mean, I should get caught soon, but
to my brother,
still trying to.
and I say, brother, help me please.
I should have caught soon, so I'll just let them out to.
But he winds up knocking me down.
We're now broadcasting live at the anti-public order bill protest, remember to hit that big red subscribe button and also click the bell icon to stay up to date with future live streams like these, and also get notified whenever I go live. Thank you very much for tuning in. We're now on the streets, Parliament Square.
Unusual. We've got some rebel rousing to do, but before we do, we've got one more speaker. It's going...
I'm just going to quickly.
Ahora ya sabéis por qué son tan monárquicos. Porque la República les prohibió el alcohol. Vale, Franco les prohibió entre otras cosas
I'm going to head back to the protest, but I'm just going to quickly get a bottle of water because it's really hot day today. Let's go. Hi there, how are you? Nice to see you. Yeah, good, thanks. Nice to see you. So could you tell my viewers about this protest today? Right now.
Well, I'm here today to protest against the government for its public order bill.
Yeah.
And like many in the country, tens of thousands, we're not happy with the control of what the government is giving out to people as to what they can and can't do, and that you can be arrested for the most trivial of things, shockingly trivial, and that it's got almost an agenda of controlling the people, especially at protests. You know, people want to speak up against the policies. The government's making it harder and harder for people to speak up. They're trying to scare us into not protesting by making this public order bill, which I feel is, like many people, authoritarian, and that's why I'm here.
Thank you very much for that.
You're welcome, man.
See you later.
See you later.
Cheers. Just going to keep the stream rolling. I'm going to head to the shop quickly and just get a bottle of water. It's a really sunny day and I'm a bit thirsty. Just bear with. Thank you for tuning in to today's stream, everyone. We're now broadcasting live at Parliament Square on the streets.
marches that might come down Whitehall behind you, and we'll finish with speeches.
Tomorrow is the final game of the season.
Going to pop to the shop quickly. I won't be long. I'll be back at the protest to cover more stuff on that, but just need to get a bottle of water. If you haven't already, do go check out the TikTok channel. The link is in the About page. Let's try to get to 50,000 followers on TikTok very soon. Just keep the stream rolling. I'll be back shortly at the protest. Just going to get some water. It's a very busy day as we see. quickly get a quick drink of water. Yeah, it's very busy.
I think it was worth it. I've been to yesterday and I picked
I'll be back at the protest, just quickly getting a bottle of water, guys. Then we'll get it. Excuse me. Cheers.
Would you like to continue? Tap or insert your payment card.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for shopping at Tesco. Card accepted. Thanks for shopping at Don't forget to scan or tap your club card. Payments accepted. Payments accepted. Thanks for shopping at Tesco.
Just got some water. Have to keep hydrated when I'm filming. I'll go back to the box for more process. I think there's going to be a march of some sort later on, so we should see how that is, or that turns out. Finally back.
How are we doing? I love we all have to go into
Is anyone covering that, Lisa? as I might head over to London Bridge to see what's happening over there. Well, there are a lot of people as well, so I can always cover that too, but that requires me to get on the train and end this live and then start another one if I were to film the anti-ULEZ protest. But put one in the chat if you actually want me to cover the anti-ULEZ protest after this. I'll stay here for a bit, of course, but if you want to see a bit of the anti-ULEZ thing going on, just put one in the chat. Okay, I might as well go down there soon. I'll just cover this shortly, as I'm here anyways, so there's no point leaving anytime soon. But I'm assuming they'll come down towards Westminster anyways. Okay, I'll cover this for a bit and then head over to the anti-ULEZ protest. But there's going to be a bit of a march now, I think, to Downing Street from here. And then once this is over, which I think will be shortly, I'll be heading over to the anti-ULEZ rally, as nobody's covering it. And what we do on this channel, we want to show what the mainstream media aren't showing you, basically. Just gonna try and get some fun.
Oh, rebel.
Guys, I kept my stream going, I suppose.
As soon as you go, it'll all happen.
Yeah. To kick you off there.
Half an hour? Or?
Just until we get the march on the move.
So, good afternoon. My name is Wendell Daniel from Street Mike. Can I ask you a few questions? Why are you here blocking the road? And I'm being devil's advocate, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm being devil's advocate, by the way.
Hi there.
Police is blocking the road.
Hi there, I'm Louis from Another Alternative. Would you mind telling my viewers why you were blocking the road? I need to be devil's advocate on my channel. But if you don't mind telling me what this protest is about right now.
Because I would not like to be killed by climate change.
Okay. Could you go into more detail for my viewers, please?
The government is issuing gas and oil licenses which contribute to climate change, which has devastating consequences.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so now they're marching.
No justice! No peace! No racist!
Just going to quickly put my water in the bag so they start marching now. Don't know. 2 seconds, just bear with.
Not enough. Let's bury it today for the gypsies and travellers. Get behind us. Support us. Follow us. We need you.
So, space for the boys. Similar struggle over the years.
Oh, you're inspector?
Yeah, space, hey bro, how you doing? You alright? Another alternative. Hey, alright? How are you, Inspector people? Boys, keep your head on point, boys.
Keep sending on me,
Hi there. Can you tell my viewers why you're protesting today in London?
For traveller and gypsies' rights.
And can you go into detail about that?
Sorry?
Can you go into a bit more detail about that?
It's for gypsies and travellers' rights. It's a very discrimination against them. It's about time, basically, for it to happen, isn't it? That's all I have to say.
Thank you very much.
No racist police!
justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace.
Protest rights are human rights! Protest rights are human rights! Protest rights are human rights!
Protest rights are human rights! Protest rights are human rights! Protest rights are human rights!
Protest rights! Human rights! Protest rights!
Human rights!
Protest rights!
Human rights!
Protest rights!
Human rights!
Protest rights!
Human rights!
Protest rights!
Human rights!
Protest rights!
Human rights!
There's justice!
No peace!
There's justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
There's justice!
No peace!
No peace. No racist. Police. No sexist. I said no justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No racist. Police. No sexist. I said no whose lives matter. Black lives matter. That's right. Whose lives matter. Black lives matter. I said no whose lives matter. Black lives matter. Whose lives matter. Black lives matter. I said no justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No racist. Police. No sexist. Police. I said no justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace.
Broadcasting live on the streets of Parliament Square. Remember to hit that big red subscribe button and click the bell icon so you stay up to date with future live streams like these and also get notified whenever I go live. Thank you very much for tuning in. We're now broadcasting live. See that loads of people listening to it. About a good 1,000 protesters, a couple hundred. They are currently heading to Downing Street right now. I think they'll be marching along Whitehall. Feel me to go cover the anti-ULEZ protest? I will do shortly. I'll just stay here for the time being. I don't think there's any point leaving now. We go to Downing Street, cover this for a bit and then see how the anti-ULEZ protest develops.
That's right. If we ain't getting no justice, I said, if we ain't getting no justice, that's right. If we ain't getting no justice, I said no justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No racist. Police. No racist. Police. No racist. Police. No racist. Police. No sexist. Police. No sexist. Police. No sexist. Police. No sexist. no justice. I said, if we ain't getting no justice, that's right, if we ain't getting no justice, okay, no justice. No justice. No justice. No justice. No justice.
We're just waiting a moment.
Excuse me, everybody. Sorry.
And every service. There's a very historic moment. My colleague, Tom Roddy, is going to the gates of 10 Downing Street. The first carry our message forward. Please, everybody in the traveling community
No worries, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
Come on, Richie, still there! Richie!
Okay, that's fine.
Are you listening? Come on, Richie! The one I need! Look, we can't even get into Downing Street! This is what I'm telling you! We can't even get someone to point the street! What a historic moment! Well done, lads! Thank you, Black Lives Matter! Send up some baby on me! When I say gypsy, you say diversity! Gypsy! Diversity! When I say gypsy, you say equality! Gypsy! Equality! We never come here without
When I say look, you say democracy, and look!
Behind you!
This is what democracy looks like! Show me what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like! Show me what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like! Show me what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like! Show me what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like! Show me what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like! Show me what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like! Show me what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like! Show me what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like!
No justice!
No
peace!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
No peace!
No peace!
No peace! No peace! No peace! No peace! No peace! Police! Come on! No peace! No peace! If we don't get no justice, if we don't get no peace, if we don't get
There's an open mic here. If anyone wants to say anything, let me know.
Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2.
Hi everyone, this is an open mic. If anyone wants to say anything, let me know. We're here today.
It was the injunction that was meant to get. It's fun. I was arrested. Chief of Sanity, Chief of the jurisdiction was like, oh, you going to the one on Saturday? I was like, yeah, of course, yeah.
You know what I'm after now.
Yeah, we know what we're after now.
JR! So JR, what was it like for you walking into that historical location? But tell me first about the security checks you went through.
To be fair, they first said about my ID. We didn't have an email saying that we needed ID. But to be fair, we confirmed our names and our addresses, and they were lenient and they were really good. So I respect them for that. Also, head down the street. Who on God's earth thought Gypsy Man or a travelling man was going to be in there? Never in a million years. I'm trying to make a change for all people. That's all I'm saying. I've come from a life of crime, changed my life in 2 years. And if more people can't get behind me and believe what we're trying to do, what we're doing here doesn't make sense.
Of course, but you've handed in a letter. Can I ask you to disclose the confidential content of that letter?
That letter was just basically about Gypsy Travel League organisation, that we are going to liaise with police officers, social services. We're going to liaise with a lot of people that we're not really comfortable to be doing, but someone has to do it, and I'm that chap who's going to do it.
Excellent stuff. It's been amazing to observe you today, and this is a historical moment. And
It's a big moment. It's a big. I don't know your name, but it's a massive moment. Never in God's earth do you ever think a Gypsy Man walk in there. You probably think a Gypsy Man will steal his gates. You think a Gypsy Man will steal his copper. That's the stigma that we're getting. And I went in there, took some pictures, proudly here to make a difference.
Well, I thought I saw you walking away, then I saw you walking back. I thought you went back to nick something.
To be honest with you, there's nothing in there.
But did you actually go inside, or you actually just?
I went to the door. One of these personal people has come along and approached us. I've given him the letter, got to take a few pictures, and respected the black man. He turned around and said, "Fair play to what you're doing."
Excellent stuff. So thank you very much, sir. It has been a pleasure, and I look forward to seeing
Just
you.
get behind us. That's all we're saying, people. Listen, we're here to make a difference. We're a young bunch of travelling men. We're going to have grow by time. We are going to make a difference, but if you can't get behind us and support us in the way that we should be, what we're here for doesn't make sense, man. What, do you want all our children stuck in prison? Do you want all these little arguments among Gypsy and travelling men? We're then doing 20 and 30 years in prison for what? For nothing. Because when you're inside, you ain't getting no £10 note from any of your family, which you thought your soul life changed my life around.
Excellent stuff. I want you to have a nice interview with this
definitely.
young, upcoming. If you have an interview with this, that'd be great.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so could you tell my viewers what it was like and the experience walking behind those gates of Downing
I'm going to be
Street?
straightforward.
Yeah.
A lot of travelling men try to hide their emotions, and I'll be honest, I did get a lump in my throat because the moment that I'm the first to do it, and hopefully, please God, once we grow, there'll be more men going in there and talking on behalf of us. That's what we're missing. We need people high up, Gypsy, travelling men, women, to be talking for us. And this next year, we will at GTL will be getting a lot of travelling men and women that we're thinking are very educated and be able to talk on behalf of us. That's what it's meant to be, and that's what it is going to be.
Yeah, sure. And what were the security checks like when you walked into Downing Street?
Just an average airport check. It was just a scenario with the ID was he asked me about ID, I didn't bring no ID.
Yeah.
Because in case you all have stigma, you think travellers don't have ID. Hey, we have now. Yeah. So.
What impact do you think this will have now? Especially a lot
It's
of
going
media
to have a
covering
big
this.
impact because the travelling people alone is going to see it's taken us to try to make this difference. Do you understand? We've taken the shame, we've taken the laugh from people that are one-minded. And I've got a slogan in my office called "Change Your Mindset." And if we can't change it today, like, what are we doing, man? We'll end up all just going to be in the killing each other and going back to prison for what they don't add up.
And what outcome? Because you gave a letter to the government. What outcome would you like to see at the end of
The outcome, I do believe they will approach us.
Yeah.
And when they approach us, they will see. They will see. There's my comrades there. There's my mates.
Yeah.
These are my mates who are willing to fight. And this is all those travelling people. We're a fighting breed of people. This is our time to fight. What else are we fighting for? Come on, our children, ourselves, we can't go nowhere. We really, really can't go nowhere. And that's because we've allowed this to happen. We talk about Ireland, or how soft they are. How do you need to make a change? We need to make it here. So don't talk about other people. Don't talk about a different country. Talk about today in the UK. There's thousands of us. And if we can't make this happen together, boys, what on God's earth are we doing? Don't cast us up a man. We might as well crawl up and we're better off being buried. And that's the truth. Today is where we bury discrimination. And today is where we make a change. And that's all I'm stating, buddy.
Thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
Louis
Sorry.
from Another Alternative on YouTube. So
Perfect.
see my channel.
My colleague will
TikTok
write
as
it
well,
on.
so.
Perfect. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
it's called
Just
Another
get your
Alternative.
support. Just let the people know there's stigma on our people. We need to change that. As our own people need to change that for the outside viewers. But when you go on social media, all you see is negative. And that's due to people with fake accounts are putting social arguments and fights amongst travellers. So they're the people that needs to be closed down to make that change.
Thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
Pleasure
Thank
meeting
you.
you.
Sorry.
You can check my channel out on YouTube as well.
Thank you.
So, yeah.
I'm Ellie.
Trolley with the stuff.
Okay, I think this protest is largely over now, so I'll be heading to the anti-ULEZ one. If any of the mods can find out where the anti-ULEZ protest is currently right now, that'd be really helpful. Because if any of the mods could find out any information about the anti-ULEZ event going on, that'd be really helpful. Thank you very much. Lisa, if you're still in the chat, if you don't mind finding out information about the anti-ULEZ thing. I'm going to end this shortly and head So that's City Hall right now, the anti-ULEZ protesters at the moment, correct? Are there a lot of people there as well? Okay. Do you mind sending me the link through Twitter, maybe? We'll just double check. Thank you very much. So I'm going to head there now and we'll just check where
want to pick up Morgan. Was that Morgan? I want to pick up Morgan, and I'll tell you something about Morgan and Marcus, who are both arrested, and who are both been in prison. When our communities in Edmonton needed support, Marcus and Morgan were there. While we were campaigning against the monstrous incinerator that is poisoning black people in our community, Marcus and Morgan were there. And every time we have called on them, the solidarity campaign,
if it's not pressure, I'll let that now.
So, you know what, I will always have people, and I will always have my...
Right, let's see if we can go over there. I didn't want to let John go. I've been here for 2 hours.
Our next speaker is from...
I thought it was going to be one specific course, but
Animal Rising, and her name is Claudia, and I want you to give a big welcome to her.
Yeah, so apparently that's the anti-UNES thing at City Hall right now. I'm going to go and cover that very soon. That's too hard to be jogging around. I think this is it over here in particular, but I think they're the Palestinians. The City Hall is another place to make all that. I know, I'm aware of everything, but I won't get too involved. I still get along with of course, yeah, exactly. It's good to remain professional because we are working together in some sense. He's a nice guy, he helps me so much. I'm very grateful.
I always wondered how great the UK was. Hearing narratives repeated about how human rights here were respected.
Oh yeah, the other one.
Then you could go out and
I heard there was
protest
police
on the streets without fear.
What happened with the police? Because I saw that too. I saw both of them.
And I think so many people.
I'm going to head to City Hall in fact, but is there anything going on at Horse Guards by the way?
No, they closed it down completely.
What, just because of this?
Yeah.
Wow, already.
Oh, what's it you later tell you what happened?
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to head to City Hall then. Catch you in a bit. Cheers.
They're living in a dream.
Sorry about the buffer. The internet's just being a bit weird on me today. Yeah, I'm going to end the stream. If you can still hear me, put one in the chat. Yeah, the internet's been a bit weird, but I'm going to end the stream anyway, so it does make a huge difference. Thank you so much for tuning into today's stream, everyone. I'm going to head to City Hall now, so I'll probably see you all guys on the other side. See what the anti-UNES protest is like. Hopefully it's big. I'm sure it will be. But if it's just to the south side of... Okay, perfect. Yeah, I'll just head on the tube. Probably head to farthest west, so then I'm at least one stop closer. Or maybe Embankment by more, but I'll just check the quickest route to get there. I know what happened with the internet outside Downing Street. It was buffering a lot for some reason. That could be for various reasons. I mean, they normally buffer streams sometimes, especially around this area. So it's nothing new basically. But it's just been a tiny bit weird. But I'm still with you guys, and we're still live. I'll end the stream very shortly. Just to let you know, remember to stay tuned for next live as we're heading to City Hall now to cover the anti-UNES rally. So yeah, I'm going there and just check what it's all about and see if there's anything going on there, which I'm sure there will be. So I think it's happening for a few hours, so it's better than now. I think the protest we just covered now is largely come to a standstill and nothing much is happening, so I don't want to bore you all, and so I'll just cover something else to keep it interesting for the channel as we cover a variety of things. And we show what the mainstream media don't even show, so we live stream everything. Oh gosh, a lot of police fans over there, but I think I'll just zoom in. As you can see, there's like a whole line of them behind the traffic, but they'll probably just park there.
Hey, no.
Anyways. It's at 4 PM here. I don't think it would take too long, probably about 20 minutes at the most. Not far from the Tower of London, so yeah, I'll head there now. And I'll see you all on the other side. So stay tuned and remember to hit the notification icon. Thank you very much, everyone. to go 10 alive, so just stay tuned and I'll see you guys on the other side.